We're back with another personality test, and it's everyone's favourite. It's top of the pile. Of course, it's Model Citizen. Model Citizen is the best personality on Football Manager. We all know this, so I think it's only fair that we jump in and do this one early in the series of personality tests, just to show how good or how badly it can go, even with the best personality in the game. Let's jump in. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen. So we've got 85 current ability, 200 potential ability. They're all 16. They're all free agents. Of course, as I said, the personality is Model Citizen. And the theory behind it is Model Citizen personality should get you all the way to your potential ability. But there, of course, are many other factors that go into the development of Wonderkid players. So what we're going to do today is we're going to simulate through and see who gets there and who doesn't. And as ever, we've got 5 Wonderkids at our disposal, and I've left the names that Football Manager has generated simply because lack of willingness to just make random names. Didn't have any puns available for this. And the German guy was called Abel Wolf, which I think is probably the most badass name I think I've ever heard. There's Abel Wolf. In terms of their attribute breakdown, they're all exactly the same. And I've, as always, mid-journeyed their faces. So we've got real-looking players. So when we jump on these screens, it just adds a little bit more immersion to the experiment, at least in my opinion. But if we compare them, as you can see, there we go. We've got exactly the same hat, exactly the same weight, and exactly the same attribute breakdown. The reason we've done this is because we want to have an absolute level playing field. They're all left-footed as well, randomly. I'm not sure why they're all left-footed, but they are. Shall we have a look at the hidden attributes then? There you go. Then that's a Model Citizen personality. Of course, 20s on everything would probably be almost Model Citizen personality, but the key things here for Model Citizen are temperament, professionalism, pressure, ambition, I believe loyalty, and I believe sportsmanship. Other things have to be at a certain level as well, but of course I've got exactly the same hidden attribute breakdown for all 5 players for a very even, fair test. So there we go then. Without further ado, 1 year into the future to see what clubs they start off their career with. And as you can see, as we've arrived back 1 year into the future, they've all got themselves a club. They're all 17 years old now, and they all have 105 to 103 current abilities. So they've all started to move beautifully. They're all still Model Citizens, of course. Loic Asso has gone to Sassuolo. Lyrical Madness over here. He's on £825 a week. He's not played for Sassuolo, but in the reserves, or whatever it is, Sassuolo under 18s, I believe it is. 27 in 58, not a bad return. 7 assists, 3 player of the matches. Only getting a 6.93. Not too sure about that. Callum Richardson has gone to Manchester United, and 32 in essentially just over 60 games for the under 18s again. He needs a loan move. If he rots in the under 18s for too long, probably not going to be ideal for him. Julio Cruz has gone to San Jose, who are in the Spanish under 19 Division 1 Group 6. And he's wanted by Ferrol, Ibiza, and Ponferrada. And he got 11 in 18 for the first team, 7.13. He's actually playing, but he's obviously not as big a club or doing as well. And just seeing, he's played as a left winger, awkwardly, and he's now played as a defensive midfielder as a makeshift. What are they doing? Abel Wolf has gone to RB Leipzig. He's improved his finishing, and has he done anything at Leipzig? Again, it's just reserves, but 21 in 31, only one of them off the bench as well. But 21 in 31, that's pretty good. And 2 appearances off the bench for the first team. 1 in the cup. He got a goal in the cup as well, in the DFB Pokal, I believe that would have been. And Andrea Campagna has gone to Torino. He is, again, playing in the reserves. Started every game. Never came off the bench for the reserves. 35 in 62, but he also made an appearance off the bench in the cup, and he got a 7.20 as a substitute. No goals, no assists. So not too bad for old Andrea Campagna. Well, of course, we've now got a foothold in the experiment. So what we're going to do now is going to jump through 2 more years to 2026. But before we do that, if I can make a public service announcement, thank you to everyone who has been watching and subscribing recently on the channel. The channel is going through the roof. Let's keep that momentum going, and please do, while you're here, subscribe to the channel. And of course, leave any comments below on future personalities that you would like me to cover. Whoa. We've got big movement over here. We've now got 12 attribute points separating the top and the bottom. So we've got quite a lot to unpack. Abel Wolf is wanted by a lot of teams on loan. He's still at Leipzig. So we'll stop him with Abel for now, because he's got 7 appearances for Leipzig and 2 goals. He's never been out on loan. He's not had enough first team football, which is possibly why he is currently floundering at the bottom. His personality has dropped to driven as well, unfortunately. Is his ambitions dropped? Pressure, that's dropped, I think. Professionalism also dropped. So he's now only driven. So we've lost his model citizen personality, as we have for Julio Cruz, who's also moved to Man City. More on that in a moment. We'll move up the charts. Loic Asso is also still at Sassuolo. Still a model citizen. He's broken into the bench last season. 19 appearances from the bench, 3 goals. Never made a start for the first team, though. Let's hope that changes in the seasons coming up. At 131, he's probably on the cusp. Andrea Campagna has played 26 times for Torino. 7 of those were starts in the league. 19 off the bench, 5 goals, 1 start, 2 off the bench in the cup as well with 2 goals. So he got 7 in 8 starts with 21 appearances off the bench. You'd want a few more goals for that return, but you don't know how many minutes he's getting when he's coming off the bench, do you? So for a young striker, not too bad. There he is at 132. Now, 135 is Julio Cruz, who, again, as we mentioned, we've lost his model citizen personality. And it's the professionalism, it's the ambition, it's the pressure. Pressure's probably all right at 17 still, but it's the professionalism and ambition that have dropped to make him driven. Well, he did make that move from San Jose. He said, whoa, we're going to Ibiza. I would have sung that, but I don't want to get a copyright strike from the Venga Boys. So, topical music on the channel, late 90s. 25 years old, that. So he went to Ibiza anyway, and 4 in 3 for the reserve team. 2 of those were off the bench. So straight away, they were like, get in the first team. Get in the first team, Julio. 10 in 24, then 10 in 33. All of those starts. And then Man City have come a knocking for £4 million, and they've got their own model citizen. Well, not quite model citizen, but they've got their own wonder kid to rival Callum Richardson, who is at Manchester United. And of course, he's up at 143. He's really started to move through the gears. It's not Manchester United's doing, I wouldn't have thought. He has spent a singular season away on loan at Portsmouth, 18 in 37 in the Championship as well. So fair play to them. And they avoided relegation, 19th. He's already managed to get himself in into the best 11 on the bench, old Callum Richardson, 18 in 37. He did very well for them in that season, helped keep them up. Of course he did. And he's now still loan listed for Manchester United. But you got to feel that he's probably not a million miles away from being able to start for them. Zinedine Zidane's in charge of United as well. Of course, in terms of his current ability, he's 5 below Rasmus Højlund, but you can only get to 162. João Felix is at United as well. You've got quite a few players that can play up front, but Vitinha is in the 155s. Rasmus Højlund's only 5 attributes points clear. So one more season, I would have said, on loan for Callum Richardson, and he's probably going to be knocking on the door for being in the first team at Manchester United. Let's hope he can get that move and really start to kick on. It's been Manchester City that have won it the last few years. Of course, Pep is still in charge, and they've just bought Julio Cruz, who's in the under-21 squad. He's alongside Luca Fletcher. Meh, rubbish. 131. And of course, Erling Haaland at 195. You're never going to get in the team ahead of Erling Haaland, are you? Well, he might do, because he's going to get to 200. He could get to 200, should I say. Will he, though? That is the question. You've got to say he probably wants a loan move as well. Right, well, we've dilly-dallied here for quite a while, so we're going to go through another 2 years, and we're going to see some, hopefully, big progression in their careers. Well, no transfers whatsoever, and we've got 19 separating the 5 players. Abel Wolf at Leipzig. Let's have a look then. He went to Magdeburg on loan, got 10 in 29, and then he's playing from the bench. He's on the bench at Leipzig, coming on 6 in 14. 11 of those were off the bench. So to be fair, that's not a bad return. Give him a chance, Leipzig. Julio Cruz at Manchester City, and the fact that he's not kicked on does concern me. He spent the season on loan at Sunderland last season, 17 in 41 in the Championship, in a season where Sunderland finished mid-table. But yeah, he's now second bottom at 151. Andrea Campagna at 158 is wanted by a lot of Premier League teams, along with Porto and Benfica, and I'm not surprised. Not surprising to see why. He is a very good player, and to be honest, 22 to 67 million, a bit of a bargain if you ask me. Probably getting for 35 million, and he has been breaking his way into the Torino first team, and there you can see 9 in 30. 20 of those were off the bench. He became a bit undeniable and got a load of starts, then 36 starts, none off the bench, and he only got 11 goals, which to be honest is a little bit disappointing personally. And they did finish just outside the European places, finishing 8th. Oh dear, you feel like they probably could have done a little bit better, really. A bit underwhelming if you ask me. 158 he's on. Loic now. Loic Asso at 168 for Sassuolo, really kicking on, and he has, yeah, he's found his way into the first team. More starts than off the bench in that season. 11 goals in, well, we'll say 31 games, but 12 of those were off the bench, and then 15 in 36. Every single one of them was a start. We've just looked at the league. We didn't look where Sassuolo finished, and they finished below Torino by a place, but 10 points further adrift. So not doing great at all. And then the man of the moment, Callum Richardson at Manchester United at 169. He's never left Man United after the Portsmouth loan move. God, look at that. 7 goals in 7 starts, 6 off the bench. And he got 32 in 23 starts, 2 more appearances off the bench for the reserves, under 23. So he absolutely was ripping it up for Man United. Then the following season, 30 games, 13 starts, 14 goals, 17 appearances off the bench. He is knocking on the door of Zinedine Zidane saying, play me week in, week out. And I'll be honest with you. Oh, okay, that's why he's not. João Felix is playing up front, who's on the same current ability. João Felix can play elsewhere. Callum Richardson is on international duty for England. He's going to start for England. He's got 6 goals in 8 caps. Fair play, Callum. 14 and 14 for the under-21s. Has anyone else been capped? That's the question. Yes, Loic's been capped by France. 3 in 6 for him. Andrea has got 4 international caps and a singular goal for Italy. Those 3 are the model citizens, and they are the best 3. The 2 that have gone driven, what are you going to do? Like, they are... I mean, it also doesn't help that they're not playing as much. Game time is a big factor here, but they've also lost some of those hidden attributes. Abel has played 7 times for Germany, scoring 3 goals as well. And Julio, unfortunately for Spain, has not found his way into the team. Okay, well, it's 2028 then. 2030 seems like a perfect opportunity to come back. Nice round figure, and hopefully we're going to see some big things happening for Loic and Callum. A couple of big moves on the horizon, I think. Sassuolo and Torino probably will not keep hold of these 2. I won't be surprised if Julio leaves City for more game time. Okay, so I was right on some fronts and I was wrong on some fronts. Let's start where I was wrong. Julio's still at Man City. That's it. Abel at Leipzig, 159. Is he playing enough? I bet a lot of these are off the bench. Again, look at that. Like 80% of his games are off the bench. That's not enough for a striker. 18 and 28 for Germany. So he's starting with Bjorn Vogel up front for Germany in a 4-4-2. Yeah. And Leipzig, who have Leipzig got? Onslaught up front, is the manager. And up front, they've got, of course, Benjamin Sesko, your best friend and mine. FC Bayern want him. Well, that'll give Abel the opportunity, won't it? But of course, Benny Sesko is going to be dominating the game time. I can't even realise and think of Benjamin Sesko. Okay, let's go back to the shortlist then. Julio Cruz at Manchester City. Has he been out on loan? He has. He went to Blackburn where he got 14 in 37. And then he's got 25 appearances for Man City last season. 7 goals. 21 of those were from the bench. Now, if you're going to be going to a team that's got Erling Haaland, you're going to have to expect to be the substitute and take those opportunities when you come on. And to be fair, continentally, he's got quite a few goals. He's got 16 goals in all competitions in 14 starts and 29 appearances off the bench. So, that, not too bad. Not too bad, to be honest. He's been capped for Spain as well. 10 goals in 15 appearances. This is where it starts to get a bit interesting. So we've had a jump from 159 to 166. We jump again to 178 for Andrea Campagna. And we've also jumped from Torino to Chelsea. And here he is. He moved for £84 million. And when did he move? At the start of last season. So he had one more season with Torino where he scored 12. Again, disappointing, really. And then he came to Chelsea and he got 16 in 28. So a very good first season for him. How did they do in the league? Well, we're going to wait to find out how all these teams did because we've got other English teams to look at. Most notably, Newcastle, who have signed Loic Asso. And we jumped from 178 to 192. Huge jumps here. He's got 24 and 25 for France as well. He looks absolutely phenomenal. And he only cost Newcastle £77 million. I kind of feel like Chelsea had the raw end of the deal here. They bought a player that is considerably worse, even though they've got the same personality and got the same potential ability, considerably worse for more money. But that's Chelsea for you. So Newcastle paid £77 million for him, and that was in the January because he had 13 and 22 for Sassuolo, and then he came to the Premier League and got 6 in 9 to finish off the season. Then got 19 in 31, getting a 7.08. Really probably propelling Newcastle up the table. Let's hope they did get at least Champions League football. But before we go and look at the Premier League, we've got to have a look at Callum Richardson, who was on 197, and Manchester United have only gone and harnessed a young talent and brought him through to his potential. Like, this feels a tad unrealistic at this moment in time, does it not? I'm a United fan, and I feel I can say those kind of things without too many people coming at me in the comments. Although most of you probably agree, because a lot of you don't support United. Anyway, 21 in 37, and then 14 in 31. So I'll tell you what, his goal scoring is not good enough for me. 16 in 31 for England, not good enough goal scoring wise. 19 finishing, 17 composure, 20 off the ball, 18 pace and acceleration. How's he not scoring 35-40 a season? Dan's still in charge, and in terms of the Premier League, well, this most recent season, United 1 point off the pace, finishing second to Liverpool. And then Chelsea and Newcastle also both getting Champions League football in 4th and 5th respectively. So all 3 of the players that are playing in the Premier League are now getting Champions League football. And of course, Julio Cruz is also getting Champions League football at Man City. So 4 of our players are at the top 5 clubs in the Premier League. Only Liverpool don't have one. And Newcastle have just won in the Carabao Cup final. And if we have a look at the Carabao Cup final, and it was Loic Asso with a goal in the 60th minute. We can't watch it, unfortunately, but he scored the only goal of the game to win the Carabao Cup for Newcastle. Arsenal beat City on penalties as well in the FA Cup final. Look at Brentford won an FA Cup in 26-27. Bournemouth getting to the final in the first season. Bloody hell. Anyway, so we're only at 23 years old and this video is already rumbling on. I've been waffling. I do apologise. Let's jump through. I'm going to jump through just another 2 years to 2032 because I'm sure Callum and Loic are going to get there. At 25 years old, they'll be there. Andrea, if he plays for Chelsea and plays a lot, he should be almost there as well. And there you go. There you go. Loic is at 200. Callum's at 200. Andrea's at 197. Julio's up at 181, playing a lot more for Man City, I would have thought. And Abel's up at 180, obviously playing a lot more for Leipzig. So let's start off with Loic, who is top of the pile, and who actually was the better goal scorer last time. Shall we have a look at, shall we compare some of these players in terms of their polygons? So we've got 2 at 200. Callum and Loic. Let's compare them just directly. Callum seems to have got the better polygon, but in terms of the attribute breakdown, again, Callum seems to have a much better attribute breakdown. I can't work out why. Loic's got 125k a week more in terms of wages. So anyway, Loic Asso, 46 in 54 France, and again, 28 in 32. He must have been the Golden Boot winner that season. 25 in 31. He's probably got it 2 years in a row. Has he propelled them up the league to the title? Oh, we'll soon find out. Callum Richardson is wanted by PSG. Don't do it, Callum. Don't do it, Callum. Well, 26 goals he's got for United there. 20 the season before that. So we're going to be interesting looking at the Premier League and who's taken some of the trophies home. Andrea Campagna at Chelsea up at 197. He's rounded out beautifully, to be perfectly honest. What a player he's turned into. And well, there's your Golden Boot winner this season, 30 in 35. We've got some high scoring players in the Premier League. Julio Cruz has got a future transfer to bloody Leipzig. Leipzig are signing Julio Cruz. I'm absolutely shocked. End of contract. He's leaving City on a free. And I guess it's probably because he's playing, he's a sub merchant. He plays from the bench too often. He's improved to 181, but he's not improved as much as some of the others. We've still got time for them to all get to 200, and I think they all will. Even though these have dropped to driven, I'm sure they will. Abel Wolf at Leipzig then, he's been playing, he's been starting a lot of games the last couple of years. He's broken into the team and he's rewarded them, to be fair. I mean, Leipzig have won the league a few times. Has he won the league with Leipzig? Bundesliga champions? Absolutely. He's won the Bundesliga with them. There it is, in 2029. Fair play to him. He's wanted by Liverpool and United. So in terms of the Premier League then, and well, Man City and Chelsea have won the last 2 seasons. And if we look at the stages, Newcastle was second that season, Chelsea and Liverpool and Arsenal. I mean, Man United down here in 8th getting Conference League football. Surely they've gone and won the Conference League then the following season. Nottingham Forest getting Europa League football, finishing 6th. Who's put 50p in Forest? Manuel Neuer's in charge as manager. I did not expect that. Have they got a sugar daddy? Tom Cartley takes over, consortium. Doesn't say anything about like pumping funds in. But they won the Conference League and then they've carried on and they've won the Europa League. Nearly 4 years Manuel Neuer's been there, and I'd say he's probably doing a good job. What's his attributes saying? Distinctly average, to be honest. Distinctly average. Oh, look, his value 208 million. If you know, you know. Just I got it wrong on a different video in the story. Anyway, right, let's move back from this because we're digressing. So United finishing in 8th. And the following season then, Manchester United, getting second place, qualifying for the Champions League. Chelsea have won the league, and we saw Campagna with 30 goals very clearly steered them to a Premier League win. And unfortunately, Newcastle down here. Nottingham Forest won the Europa League, getting Champions League football from 11th. Leeds getting Conference League football from winning the Carabao Cup, it seems. Very impressive there. Very impressive. In terms of the awards then, shall we have a quick look at Player of the Year was Bukayo Saka. Top goal scorer though. So this season here we had Loic Asso and Andrea Campagna and Callum Richardson, all 3 as the top 3 goal scorers. And this season again it's the same 3, different order, 30, 26, 25. Brilliant. I mean, scoring 25 Premier League goals and finishing 3rd in the top goal scorer charts. You've got to feel a little bit aggrieved for him, but it is what it is. Well, we are fast approaching 200 for all the players, and I do believe we'll get there. Let's go to their 27th birthday and 2034. And there you go. We're basically there. 192 and 194. The two players at Leipzig, funnily enough. Loic's gone down to 199, but not really anything really to be concerned about. Of course, Andrea is up at 200 now. He's still at Chelsea. He's wanted by Man City. Abel Wolf has gone back to model citizen. He's sorted his life out. He's had a change in attitude and he's upped his hidden attributes once more. Professionalism at 15. I think that's the one. I think that's the one to just tip them over from driven to model citizen. We'll discuss this in the driven video though, I am sure. Another couple of seasons and well, 26 that season, fantastic. And then 17. Has he been injured? Has he had an injury? He broke his foot in training, being tackled. Someone broke his foot. Pep's in charge of Chelsea. He came 33 days ago. Sergio Conceição was sacked. Why was he sacked? Due to the club's poor league position. They won the league twice and then they finished fourth. I mean, I'm sorry. Bit harsh. Literally, the best player, Andrea Campagna, broke his foot. Top goal scorer. And they finished fourth. Still got Champions League football. I think it's very unjust. Very unjust, if you ask me. I mean, Pep left City a long time ago. He was sacked in 2030 and he's been at Inter. He's just been bossing it in Serie A. Of course he has. And then he's come back to be the manager of Chelsea. On Slot's in charge of City. He took over a while back. He took over from bloody Leipzig. Sandro Wagner is in charge there. The Chelsea won, and then Liverpool. Of course, all the players are still at the same club as they were last time. Well, apart from Julio Cruz, who was going to Leipzig. He's still there at Leipzig. Loic is at Newcastle, and he's had a pretty good couple of seasons. 32 and 35. What a season that was. Callum over here. He's getting in the 20s, not setting the world on fire at all, fortunately for them. Luis Enrique is in charge of United. And look at that. Chelsea beating City on goal difference for the league title. And that's the season that 32 goals, was it? Oh, no, that was Loic. So sorry, 26 for Andrea Campagna. But of course, it's those three again once more. Although Mauricio Vargas snuck their way in from Crystal Palace to get into the top three. That's the most recent season. Liverpool winning the league on 77 points. That's quite a low points total. What are you going to do? Newcastle down here in 7th, getting Europa League football. You'd think they'd be doing a little bit better. Look at Bournemouth getting Champions League football from 6th. James Tompkins in charge of Bournemouth, someone's won the Champions League or something. Unai Emery in charge of Newcastle, and they won the Europa League. Fair play to them. They won the Europa League the season after Forest did. RB Leipzig have won the Champions League. So both our players who are RB Leipzig, Abel Wolf and Julio Cruz, they've won the bloody Champions League, right? Oh my God, look at that. The first season, he moved on to free, playing every week, 28 and 27. And they got 20 and 29. So let's have a look at the milestones. Bundesliga champions, Champions League winners. I mean, he only got 3 in 15 continentally. I mean, I can't believe how badly he's done there. Looks like they're playing 2 up top because Abel's doing very well. And I think that's where the goals came from. In the league, Abel got 19 and 28, but continentally, he got 16 and 16. It was Julio Cruz who got 28 and 27 in the league and got 3 and 15 in the Champions League. Of course, there you go. Both of them up front and a 4-4-2, and that's a fantastic system to be playing with these two because they're both phenomenal talents. Very impressive that they managed to win the Champions League. And of course, they have won the Bundesliga title as well, taking it away from Bayern Munich. So trophies coming for the players. The players are winning trophies. Now, again, we're going to jump through another couple of years to 29 years old before we do slightly bigger jumps just to round off their careers. I just want to see if they all get there to 200. I think they will. Let's go to 2036. And there they are, all on 193 and 196. For Abel and Julio. I mean, they're at an age where they're not really going to be improving much more. They are playing week in, week out, and Leipzig have state-of-the-art facilities, so I can't understand why they wouldn't be potentially improving. There's absolutely no reason why at all. Doing very well in the Bundesliga, and they've actually won it 3 years in a row now with those pair up front. Fair play to Leipzig, and they've got 2 Champions Leagues. They've won the Champions League again, most recently beating City in the final. Please tell me Julio Cruz scored in the final. Please tell me he scored in the final. He got 2 in the final against his former club, who he left on a free from. How poetic is that? That is just absolutely beautiful to see. City weren't playing him. He was a substitute merchant. He said, no, thank you, I'm off. Went to Leipzig, backed himself, left on a free, has gone and won 2 Champions Leagues, 3 Bundesliga titles, and scored twice in a 3-0 demolition. I mean, as a United fan, I love to see City losing in that sort of regard. So yeah, that's hilarious. Still wanted Andrea Campagna by Man City, so we're 2 years on, and they've all dropped from 200 to 199. In terms of the Premier League then, United have finally just bloody won it. United have just won it that season, Tottenham the season before that. Look at that. Look how tight that was. 5 points separating the top 6. 6 Champions League places, 10 places in Europe, 3 Europa League places as well. Manchester United have, as I say, just won the league. In terms of the awards, let's have a look at the top goal scorer quickly. It was Callum Richardson on 24 most recent recently, not the best. I mean, there's them 3 again, but I'm very surprised he only got 24. Got 28 the season before, but they didn't win the league. So, the season he won the league, he got 24 goals, which is very, very low target. A very, very low winning total, if you ask me. But anyway, that is what it is. They've all got into the 190, so I think we can safely say they've all done exceptionally well. Let's jump through now. I'm going to go through, let's go 5 years to 2041. Better be a couple of moves, maybe a couple of Saudi moves. So they've all remained where they are at the clubs, and they've started to decline, of course they have, but they're still in the 180s. So let's go and have a look at that. RB Leipzig have just taken over Bayern Munich. Luis Enrique is in charge. What happened with Bayern Munich? Matthias Dahm, of course. We've seen that elsewhere. Jose came in, was doing really well. Then Didier Deschamps was there for just over a year and got sacked. Poch left to go and become the manager of PSG again. No, he left to go to United. Now he's at PSG. Anyway, Thomas Tuchel came back on Matthias Dahm. Luis Enrique's been there just under a year. But RB Leipzig doing phenomenally. Sebastian Heidinger. Onslaught came back to get he's now at Inter. He was at City. He's gone back to Inter. He was at Inter down here as well. He went from Feyenoord to Inter. Was there for ages. Went to Leipzig, then to City, came back to Leipzig, and now he's gone back to Inter. He loves going back, doesn't he? Champions League winners again for Leipzig. That's four Champions Leagues for RB Leipzig. Man City have won it most recently. Leipzig beating Nice in the final, and Spurs. They've just taken over Germany of Leipzig, and they've won a few Champions Leagues. So very, very satisfying over there. There was the Premier Division. It's been Tottenham in Liverpool, so none of our players have won in the last 5 years. Have they won anything? Oh, they're not even really winning top goal scorer. Julio Rojas has taken it for Chelsea. Excuse me. Why are you playing more often? I mean, he's a good player. Does that mean Andrea Campagna? Look, the top 2 goal scorers with Chelsea in this most recent season. And where did they finish? 3rd. 15 points off the pace. Mental. Callum Richardson did win the Golden Boot the season before that. Loic and Campagna has won a couple as well. 30 and 33. Still not enough to win the league. Very, very disappointing for them. Chelsea have won 3 Carabao Cups in the last 5 years, though, and they've won a couple previously. So Andrea's won multiple Carabao Cups. Callum got a Carabao Cup with United as well. In terms of the FA Cup, United have won a couple, so Callum got them there, and he's won one back here. Newcastle, so Loic has got a couple of FA Cups with Newcastle. And in terms of internationally, we're going to check in on the international tournaments in a short while at the end, but we are currently looking, and it's still worth a hell of a lot of money at 33 years old. Let's go to 2045. Let's see if they're all still there. Okay, so 2 of them are still there. Okay, so I've just gone to 2046. They're gone. So these 2 are still here. So let's have a look at Andrea, his career. He's stayed at Chelsea and he's maintained his place in the team. He's done phenomenally well. Excellent stuff. And in terms of the Premier League, they've not won it in the last 4 years. What's his milestones been? In the last 4 years, Carabao Cup with Chelsea, won the Euros with Italy, Europa League, Carabao Cup again. Yeah, so he's dwindled as his career's gone on. He got 180 caps for Italy with 115 goals. Callum Richardson then is retiring. He's on 925k at Al Hilal. He moved for £21.5 million. United cashed in on him. He was falling away. He was only scoring in the teens, which is disappointing, really. I think he probably moved back into a number 10, the cam role. He had good passing and vision, despite his finishing and all that. I think when he was losing a bit of pace, he probably did move him back and utilised him in a bit more of a number 10 role. Get him on the ball a bit more because he was just so good at nearly everything he did. Again, in terms of his milestones, he won the Euros with England, Community Shield, FA Cup, Carabao Cup, FA Cup, Premier League. Yeah, so he's won a few trophies with United. Fair play to him. Let's go back to 2044 then. And they're all still here. So we did lose 3 of them on the way. So we've seen Andrea and we've seen Callum. Callum was about to go to Saudi Arabia. Loic has already gone to Al Ahly, left on a free. £1.5 million a week he was getting. 27 and 34. 6 in 26 in his final season with Newcastle. Again, he was probably playing the number 10 role. His milestones: won the FA Cup with Newcastle, Conference League, Europa League. Yeah, he did do all right. I mean, he's not won a lot with France. 142 and 168 as well. You'd think he'd have done a bit. You'd have thought France would have done a bit better, especially having bloody him and Mbappe probably banging them in. 107 and 172 for Callum. I forgot to look at that as he retired. He hasn't retired from international football, so he might have got a bit more. So Julio has also left Leipzig for 26.5 million. He's retiring, of course. We know that because we've seen 2 seasons he's been at Al Hilal, where he's getting 1.6 million pounds a week. So he's really got the payday there. Did very well in Germany for Leipzig, and we're going to look at the German league and everything in a second. Abel Wolf has been played as a centre-back, a defensive mid, a central attacking midfielder, and a striker. 88 in 97 for him for Germany, so a bit disappointing really. In terms of the Bundesliga, let's have a quick look. I mean, Leipzig have just won it every single year. They've won it for the last 10 years in a row. I can't believe it. The DFB Pokal. They've only won a couple. They've not won loads of the DFB Pokal, but they've got another Champions League to their name 3 years ago in 2041-42. So that's 5 in the experiment. So RB Leipzig bought a couple of these players in. One for free. Both for free. Abel went there straight away for free, and they got free for Julio Cruz. Fantastic stuff. 106 and 162 for him for Spain. In terms of their milestones, he's won the Asian Champions League. He's not won much with Spain, just like European international leagues and stuff, but we've not seen any Euros or World Cups. So yeah, there is that. That's a little bit awkward. In terms of the Euros then, and it's happened again in 2036. It's only bloody Greece. But in 2024 and 2028, France won it, and then England won in 2032. Deacon Magwood is in charge. Of course, regen. No Ralph over here, unfortunately. Graham Potter was in charge for quite a while. The only manager to be in charge for more than 3 years, apart from Gareth, who was already in charge for a hell of a long time. In terms of the World Cup as well, then England have won a World Cup, as have Italy, 2 for Brazil and 1 for Portugal. So it's very difficult to say who has done the best out of all of them. I would say it's a draw between Julio and Abel, because they've both gone to RB Leipzig, but they've just dominated Germany and won more Champions League. So together, they've thought about it, and they've gone and been better as a unit. In terms of personal accolades, in terms of personal all-time career goals, well, all-time career goals, it's Andrea Campagna at Chelsea. He's done the best. In terms of internationally, he did do quite well for Italy as well. Should you have a look at Ballon d'Or? If any of them have won this, that is them winning the whole thing. Loic Asso has won 3 Ballon d'Ors in a row. Abel Wolf back here, Footballer of the Year. Julio Cruz won a couple. Loic Asso again. Abel Wolf, yeah, so I would say Loic Asso and Abel Wolf are the best. Julio Cruz here as well. He's, despite the fact they never actually got to their full 200 potential, getting into the 190s, they've done much better because they did it as a duo. They did it as a duo. World Team of the Year, Abel Wolf is there all seasons. Abel Wolf is up top. Julio Cruz is on the left. Is that could he play there? He could. God, he played in a whole host of positions. Maybe that's how they fitted them all in. Well, the two boys for Leipzig did get there, and I tell you what. It's interesting, isn't it, that if you look at it, even though they didn't get to 200, they did still do fantastically well. And that's what you get with model citizens. They will pretty much get to their potential. All you need is a bit of game time and a bit of nurturing. Decent facilities help, of course, but you saw how Julio barely played for Man City. He was on the bench so much, and he wasted his really formative developing years, and he still ended up getting into the 190s and turning into a world-class talent. So model citizens, yeah, we all know how good model citizens are. We had to do model citizens just as a sort of benchmark of how good players can be and how easy they can have it to get to their potential. Like I said earlier, let me know what personalities you want me to do in the comments down below. I'm working my way through different ones, but if you want one specifically, let me know and I can accelerate that up the list. Any other ideas for future experiments or anything in particular at all, again, leave it in the comments down below. And while you're here, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I mentioned earlier, but yeah, please do. If you still haven't subscribed and you watched all the way to the end of here, please do. Watch another one of these videos on the channel, but most importantly, take good care of yourselves, gang. I'll see you soon.